Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion. This LuoFeng is extremely arrogant. Master, you personally invited him, yet he claimed to be too busy. He even said he would visit you only after screening tens of thousands of cultivators and finishing numerous affairs, reported the Shadow Tower Master's apparition. Does he think that with Yuan Xiang's support, he can ignore me as well? Wei Yang Palace Master's sculpted face revealed a faint smile. Then let him wait. Wait until he comes knocking on my door. The Shadow Tower Master bowed slightly and vanished in an instant. Among the elders of Yulan City, the majority followed Wei Yang Palace Master. The most fundamental reason was Wei Yang Palace Master's overwhelming strength. His expertise in formation techniques was integral to Yulan City's defensive system. Before LuoFeng arrived, Yuan Xiang Palace Master had already planned to transfer the city builder authority to Wei Yang Palace Master. Wei Yang Palace Master was naturally the first choice. But when LuoFeng arrived, Yuan Xiang Palace Master was astonished. LuoFeng's talent and potential far surpassed Wei Yang Palace Master. Even so, LuoFeng would first need to master 2 half-primordial level paths before Yuan Xiang Palace Master could grant him the city builder authority. Achieving such power meant absolute superiority, capable of sweeping away all dissenters. However, if LuoFeng's cultivation realm was equivalent to Wei Yang Palace Master's or Master Gai Tao's, the former's mastery in formations was still the most crucial factor for Yulan City's defenses. LuoFeng, even Yuan Xiang values you? Wei Yang Palace Master confronted LuoFeng with the same condescension that a stronger individual would wield. He was, after all, the #1 Divine Emperor in Yulan City, a half-primordial level Enlightened one. His physical body had been cultivated to a frightening degree. One-on-one, he could outright annihilate a Divine Emperor perfection level low-level primordial life purely with physical strength. This feat alone underscored his unparalleled physical achievements. But his most terrifying strength lay in his mastery of formations. A formation of supreme terror, coupled with his formidable physical body, and supplemented by the powerful secret treasures he held due to his lofty status, firmly anchored him as the first in Yulan City. When low-level primordial life groups sought to attack Yulan City, Wei Yang Palace Master was always regarded as the biggest threat. I'm eager to see just how strong you truly are, daring to disregard me. Wei Yang Palace Master's tone was laced with anticipation. I'll teach you a lesson. No matter who supports you, personal strength is the foundation of authority. Even Yuan Xiang Palace Master must rely on me to guard Yulan City. Wei Yang Palace Master resolved that this time, he would make sure LuoFeng understood once and for all who truly reigned supreme in Yulan City. In the core area of Yulan City, within a towering hall in the Heaven Patrol Palace, LuoFeng sat high atop his throne, flanked on each side by rows of guards. How many suspicious cultivators have been captured in total? LuoFeng inquired. Reporting to Commander, we've captured a total of 53,622 cultivators. A patrol team captain reported back with deference. LuoFeng nodded. Bring them into the hall in batches and have each of them walk past me. Walk past you. The guards in the hall were taken aback. No more than 1,000 cultivators per batch, LuoFeng instructed. All they need to do is walk past me. Anyone who is possessed will not escape my detection. Understood. The guards were startled but followed the orders dutifully. Very quickly, large groups of suspicious cultivators filed into the hall through the main gate and exited promptly through the side door. Oversight from the patrol team ensured that these cultivators behaved properly, none daring to disrupt order. They also noticed the black-haired, black-cloaked man seated high on the throne in the hall. Between the man's brows, a third eye, the Biomimetic Destruction Eye, opened, silently observing them. Buzz. An invisible force cloaked the entire hall, permeating deep into the bodies of the cultivators. Not a single one dared to resist. Under the force's penetration, LuoFeng's Biomimetic Destruction Eye discerned each cultivator's deep soul structure, perceiving even the subtlest details. In this state, LuoFeng deemed it impossible for anyone to evade his scrutiny. Commander, during the capture of suspects, 7 cultivators committed suicide, the patrol team captain reported reverently. We unanimously determined that they were likely possessed, so we apprehended those who had been in contact with them as well. LuoFeng nodded slightly. Any cultivator who walks out of the hall is free to leave. Free to leave. The patrol team captain and several guards around him were visibly shocked. Was it really going to be this simple to let them go? Based on past practice, suspects would be relentlessly extorted. But no matter how severe the extortion, these ordinary guards would see none of the benefits. All profits invariably went to Wei Yang Palace Master and certain elders. My screening process is already underway. Any cultivator leaving the hall signifies that their screening has ended and they may be released. LuoFeng cast a cold glance at the patrol team captain. Do you have any objections to my decision? None at all. The captain was frightened into immediate compliance. After all, this commander wasn't even afraid of the Shadow Tower Master or Wei Yang Palace Master. What significance did a lowly captain like him have? LuoFeng gave him one last glance and said nothing further. The deputy commanders of Heaven Patrol Palace, along with its many captains, were figures LuoFeng hadn't bothered to engage with deeply. He had no interest in dissecting the web of selfish gains within their ranks, but if anyone dared to defy his commands, LuoFeng would immediately enforce the rules, killing ruthlessly as an example. LuoFeng suddenly detected an anomaly within the soul of one particular cultivator entering the hall, a lurking enchanting heartworm. Even now, someone tries their luck, thinking I won't discover it? With a mere thought, a beam of blood light enveloped the cultivator, causing him to collapse instantly. An enchanting heartworm fell directly into LuoFeng's hands. Squish. The worm was crushed effortlessly in his grip. LuoFeng's Biomimetic Destruction Eye examined the causality line, making it more distinct, allowing him to pinpoint the whereabouts of other avatars of the enchanting heartworm within this chain. From his cave mansion, LuoFeng immediately dispatched avatars to capture the remaining worm fragments. Still other worm fragments exist? The guards around him were astonished, while the suspicious cultivators visibly paled. LuoFeng continued his screening uninterrupted. Of the tens of thousands of cultivators gathered, groups of several hundred passed through the hall at a time. Within moments the process was completed. Upon discovering additional avatars of the enchanting heartworm, a significant number of patrol team members mobilized yet again, capturing over 10,000 more suspicious cultivators. These captives were promptly escorted to Heaven Patrol Palace, where LuoFeng methodically screened and released them all. Are we really being released just like that? Did we just leave Heaven Patrol Palace? Some cultivators, having been detained for less than a day, were freed without losing any primordial crystals. Not a single extortion attempt? This is unbelievable. As they glanced back at the imposing Heaven Patrol Palace, the cultivators felt stunned. They had mentally prepared themselves for prolonged imprisonment and relentless exploitation. Leave quickly. Why are you hoping to go back in? The palace guards barked commands to usher them away. The cultivators heaved sighs of relief, swiftly retreating, each feeling deeply fortunate. Phew. Only after this arduous process did LuoFeng finally find a moment to rest. Leaving Heaven Patrol Palace he flew outward. Commander. The guards stationed at the entrance saluted with utmost reverence, watching LuoFeng as he departed. The Heaven Patrol Palace commander used to be the Shadow Tower Master, but now it's Luo Feng Divine Emperor. Luo Feng Divine Emperor merely had us walk through the hall, then released us. Luo Feng Divine Emperor is far superior to the Shadow Tower Master in both investigative secret techniques and execution methods. He has no interest in exploiting us even slightly. If only figures like Luo Feng Divine Emperor could rise to power. The cultivators exchanged whispered discussions. Their hearts were aflame with admiration. With leaders like Luo Feng, common cultivators could enjoy far better days. However, the cultivation world was one of survival of the fittest. Those in positions of power who were compassionate remained the exception. Far more common were individuals like Wei Yang Palace Master, Shadow Tower Master, or Insect Nest Master. Once Luo Feng completed his work, he headed to Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion. Luo Feng Divine Emperor? The guards at the mansion smirked mockingly. Our master has been waiting for you for quite some time. Please come in. Luo Feng nodded and strode inside. Within the largest cave mansion in the city, Luo Feng followed the guards for quite some time before reaching a vast courtyard. There only one figure stood. Wei Yang Palace Master's form resembled a statue, emotionless. His entire demeanor was akin to a puppet, save for a pair of profound eyes that seemed to encompass infinite worlds, giving Luo Feng a sense of the master's extraordinary nature. Luo Feng. Wei Yang Palace Master's gaze landed on Luo Feng, and his emotionless face unfurled into a faint smile. You too are a source world expert, possess avatars galore, yet couldn't spare a single avatar to meet me earlier. Instead, you had me wait until you finished screening tens of thousands of cultivators. Were you deliberately trying to humiliate me? Screening tens of thousands of cultivators requires full focus and can't be done with distractions, Luo Feng replied calmly. Meeting the Palace Master deserves my wholehearted sincerity. Sincerity? Wei Yang Palace Master nodded slightly. Now that you're done screening, here's my condition. Resign as Commander of Heaven Patrol Palace, and I'll consider you a friend. Resigning isn't an option. Luo Feng shook his head. Wei Yang Palace Master froze momentarily, then spoke coldly again. I am telling you, resign as Commander. Luo Feng looked at him in surprise, then suddenly burst into hearty laughter. Ha! Amusing, truly amusing. Wei Yang Palace Master's face darkened. Is this funny to you? Of course it's funny. Luo Feng fixed his gaze on him. Today marks our first meeting, and you dare demand I relinquish my position as commander? Isn't it the grandest jest imaginable? What arrogance drives you to think you can make such demands of me? Wei Yang Palace Master stared back at Luo Feng. He snorted coldly. Black flames ignited out of thin air, encircling Luo Feng's body. The terrifying flames carried power so overwhelming that even a Divine Emperor perfection level low-level primordial life would likely suffer serious damage under them. However, Luo Feng, equipped with his perfected Undying Blood Sea Body, bolstered further by his Undying Heart, had reached a level of physical prowess no lesser than that of a Divine Emperor perfection level low-level primordial life. His resilience was undoubtedly astonishing. Is this all you've got? Luo Feng smiled, standing unfazed. Not even a hair out of place. Wei Yang Palace Master observed this, smiling faintly. You do have some talent. Bound by city laws, direct confrontations couldn't escalate, leaving him to resort to subtle demonstrations to intimidate Luo Feng. Yet, his flames had proven ineffective, as if Luo Feng regarded them no more than air. Luo Feng in Yulan City, it would be wise to listen to me. Wei Yang Palace Master addressed him coldly. Follow my lead and I can help make you a palace master in the future. Luo Feng stared back, chuckling. In Yulan City, your word holds no weight. With that, Luo Feng turned and walked away. Watching Luo Feng's retreating figure, Wei Yang Palace Master sneered. Resisting a mere thread of black sun fire, and you think you can contend with me? Ridiculous. Wei Yang Palace Master simmered in anger. Those bold enough to disrespect him in all of Yulan City were few and far between. Today Luo Feng joined their ranks. Luo Feng left Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion. What a piece of trash. Before this meeting, Luo Feng had already anticipated it, especially since places like the Insect Nest, Deceit Workshop and Shadow Tower were all under Wei Yang Palace Master's faction. This meeting only confirmed Luo Feng's judgment. Wei Yang Palace Master, truly a piece of trash. To maintain the operation of a city, relying on trade, residence fees and rental profits. These are understandable, Luo Feng thought. But still dissatisfied with that, resorting to theft, plundering, and even using the guise of investigating suspicious cultivators, squeezing them even further. Wei Yang Palace Master, you truly are trash. Luckily you haven't yet obtained the city builder authority. If you did, I can only imagine the atrocities you'd commit. Wei Yang Palace Master and Luo Feng were vastly different. Wei Yang Palace Master had reached the level of a half-primordial enlightened a long time ago, deeply entrenched in this stage, making further progress extremely difficult. He no longer strove for improvement and only sought easy access to more resources. Naturally he attached great importance to Yulan City. Luo Feng was different. Luo Feng's cultivation soared to new heights, and the 9 Rivers Sacred Realms Yulan City was merely one of many stops on his cultivation journey. Once I accumulate enough, break through in the life and death Dao, and obtain the city builder authority, I'll drive Wei Yang Palace Master out. Luo Feng thought. Yuan Xiang Palace Master. Walking through Yulan City, Luo Feng transmitted a message to Yuan Xiang Palace Master. From now on, I intend to start investigating all hidden low-level primordial lifeforms in the entire city. You're going to start the investigation now? Yuan Xiang Palace Master sounded pleasantly surprised, laughing in his reply. Brother Luo Feng, you act way faster than the other elders. You've just taken the position of Heaven Patrol Palace Commander, finished screening the suspicious cultivators, and now you're starting a thorough city-wide investigation. The formations around every cave mansion in the city currently shield the cultivators inside, making it temporarily impossible to investigate them, Luo Feng explained in his transmission. Outside the cave mansions, the cultivators accounted for only a small portion of the city's population. Start your investigation first. Once you're done, I'll arrange for all cave mansion formations to be closed in batches, Yuan Xiang Palace Master transmitted back. Okay, Luo Feng responded. Naturally, the eye of biomimetic destruction opened at the center of his brows, scanning his surroundings. He could vaguely perceive the souls of numerous cultivators on the streets nearby. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. From his cave mansion, 5 of Luo Feng's avatars flew out. Each avatar had its eye of biomimetic destruction open. A total of 6 Luo Feng avatars divided the city into zones, conducting a meticulous sweep. At this moment, Yulan City was cloaked in light rain. The cultivators within the city came in diverse appearances, while Luo Feng, with an additional eye at his brow, blended seamlessly into the city's scenery. His 6 avatars flew casually, surveying area after area. Found 1 lurker, Enchanting Heartworm avatar. Found a 2nd, Enchanting Heartworm avatar. Found the 9th, Soul-devouring snake avatar. Even upon discovering them, Luo Feng refrained from stirring the pot and instead quietly recorded the cultivators' identities. Using Yulan City's detailed database, identifying their designated cave mansion locations was an easy task. After half a day, all 6 of Luo Feng's avatars traversed the city in its entirety, finally regrouping. Yuan Xiang Palace Master, I've completed the sweep of the entire city. Everyone outside their cave mansions has been screened, Luo Feng transmitted. I identified a total of 22 lurkers. 22. Yuan Xiang Palace Master was elated. Once we eliminate them, following the causality line should allow us to capture a batch of additional lurkers. Luo Feng nodded. In terms of observational secret techniques, he was unmatched in Yulan City. However, in matters of causality, there were still others stronger than him. I'll now organize the elders into teams. They'll exterminate these 22 lurkers and follow the causality lines to capture more lurkers, Yuan Xiang Palace Master transmitted. This minor affair doesn't require your involvement. Understood, Luo Feng responded. Tracking them via causality was something the elders could handle. The eye of biomimetic destruction allowed Luo Feng to view the entire city. However, the larger the range he observed, the less detailed his vision became. He could only discern the faint aura of many cultivators, making it difficult to probe their physical bodies, let alone their souls. Action time. Luo Feng's eye of biomimetic destruction had long locked onto the 22 suspicious lurkers. He saw everything clearly. 22 elder-level figures launched their attacks simultaneously, striking down the 22 lurkers in an instant. Using the causality lines, related avatars were rapidly captured thereafter. In a plain cave mansion in Yulan City's outer district, a red-robed cultivator lived in solitude. King, our mid and low-tier clan members lurking inside Yulan City are being killed one by one, a voice echoed within the red-robed cultivator's mind. At least 30 clan avatars have died, and the number is quickly increasing. Mid and lower-tier clan members, avatars getting slaughtered? The red-robed cultivator murmured in confusion. Why have so many been exposed? This operation's details were known only to leadership-level figures. We carefully restricted core members, but as for mid-tier and low-tier clan members, the constraints weren't strict. The voice explained. Naturally, those mid-tier and low-tier clan members are unaware of the importance of the operation. Their true bodies remain outside the city. Those lurking inside are nothing but offspring avatars, the voice added. Then there's no need to act. The red-robed cultivator responded, remain patient. Now is not the time to act. Understood. The voice replied. In Yulan City, tracing the 22 identified lurkers by Luo Feng along the causality line produced 76 additional avatars. Furthermore, implicated suspicious cultivators were sent to the Heaven Patrol Palace in large numbers. During the capture process, over 100 of these suspicious cultivators committed suicide. Brother Luo Feng truly deserves great credit. This round of screening has already forced out around 200 lurkers. Yang Palace Master was pleased. They had suspected that a considerable number of low-level primordial lifeforms were hidden. Previously, uncovering them had been extremely challenging. Now things were much smoother. Luo Feng worked tirelessly, stationed at the Heaven Patrol Palace to screen every suspicious cultivator one by one. These cultivators were captured, interrogated, and released on the same day, without being extorted for treasures, causing widespread discussion within Yulan City. King, we've lost 205 clan avatars this time. These avatars belong to 23 clans, with most wielding power at the middle stage or early stage Divine Emperor levels, the voice reported. Ignore it, the red-robed cultivator responded indifferently. A few middle stage and early stage Divine Emperor clan members held no significance to the true city annihilation operation. Taking advantage of this, I've issued orders for all members to go entirely dormant. No unauthorized actions are permitted, the voice said. Having lost so many in succession, they are now obediently following orders. Patience is key. Once the timing is right, we will move, the red-robed cultivator declared, remaining composed. He gazed in the direction of Yulan City's core region. The elders of Yulan City are clueless about how many clan members have infiltrated. Across the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, the core members of both the Enchanting Heartworm and Soul-devouring Snake clans have concentrated here half of the core strength of their respective branches, the red-robed cultivator mused. Only those with late-stage Divine Emperor strength could be considered core members. Divine Emperor perfection-level figures are the leaders of a clan branch. Boom. Suddenly Yulan City trembled violently, as a terrifying pressure erupted. The red-robed cultivator was stunned, his gaze piercing through the formation to glimpse the outside, where dense purple light enveloped the entire city. Boom. Another earth-shaking sound reverberated. The city's rain transformed into mist, with an invisible force emanating throughout every corner. Boom. 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 Explosions thundered through Yulan City as one formation after another detonated. The surge of heaven and earth power grew increasingly chaotic and overwhelming, with the city's skies resembling turbulent seas. Ordinarily, the elders only devoted a fraction of their consciousness to maintaining Yulan City's defensive systems. But during critical moments like siege battles, they concentrated their full strength to bolster the formations, amplifying their power considerably. This was such a moment. The city's formations were being activated in succession, their might escalating rapidly. This methodical activation signified that Yulan City was not yet in a state of urgency. What's happening? Why are Yulan City's formations operating at full strength? The red-robed cultivator asked in alarm. Could the operation be compromised? Impossible. All participating core members were strictly constrained. Even the detailed operational plans are known only to the leaders. The red-robed cultivator felt unease. After tens of breaths had passed, the vast array of formations throughout Yulan City erupted fully, their formidable power enveloping every corner of the city. This left the cultivators within tense and anxious. I am Yuan Xiang. A soothing voice resonated across the entire city. Fellow cultivators of Yulan City, do not panic. Our city has developed a method to detect low-level primordial lifeform lurkers. From this moment, all cave mansion formations will be shut down in batches. Please voluntarily deactivate any personal formations within your residences to facilitate identity verification. The entire screening process will be completed within a day, Yang Palace Master's voice echoed throughout the city. They can screen the entire city now? Wonderful. It's about time we eradicate all the lurking low-level primordial lifeforms. Throughout various districts, the vast majority of cultivators cheered. Over 90% of the city's cultivators were below the Divine Emperor level, powerless against those lurking low-level primordial lifeforms, a true nightmare for them. If the screening successfully removed all of them in one go, subsequent periodic checks would markedly enhance the city's safety. King. They're preparing to screen the entire city. The voice sounded urgent. The red-robed cultivator naturally heard the citywide announcement, his expression darkening. He was the mastermind behind the Annihilate Yulan City operation and the first to arrive. The other kings hadn't all gathered yet as the designated time for the operation hadn't arrived. The city's forces require meticulous infiltration, so they've arrived ahead of schedule and they're all here. However, only 30% of our forces outside the city have arrived, with the rest still en route, the red-robed cultivator seethed. No matter. Even if we launch prematurely, our low-level primordial lifeforms may suffer heavier losses, but the probability of annihilating the city remains above 90%. The red-robed cultivator's gaze turned icy. He realized there was no time to wait. Delaying further risked exposure to a full-scale screening. Transmit my order, follow the planned operation, begin. The red-robed cultivator's voice abruptly echoed within the minds of all lurking low-level primordial lifeforms in the city, an intangible mental wave inspiring their unconditional compliance. The king. The king is in Yulan City. Every low-level primordial life form lurking within Yulan City felt a surge of fervor in their hearts. The low-level primordial lives were notoriously unruly. Even when ordered by their leaders, only the scarce core members would somewhat obey, while the vast majority of middle and lower-tier clans wouldn't care much. They might go centuries without ever meeting their leaders and could perish at the hands of cultivators at any time. Naturally, they became even more indulgent and unrestrained. Indulgence, recklessness, and unruliness. These traits had already become traditions among the low-level primordial lives. The Enchanting Heartworm clan, the Soul-devouring Snake clan, and the Void Wanderer clan were the three major species of lurkers. Once a king emerged among these three species, they would possess an inconceivable power to command, even making the kings of other species willing to heed their orders. This was because only the king of the lurker species could easily infiltrate cities and assassinate the topmost core members within, significantly reducing the difficulty of breaching the city's defenses. In the history of the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, most city breaches, 8 out of 10 cases, were due to the emergence of a king among the three lurker species. Once a lurker king was discovered, the cultivators of the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm would immediately call for reinforcements. The Dark Sacred Realm would send terrifying cultivators to hunt down the lurker king. Hence, the birth of a lurker king was kept in absolute secrecy. A king only had one chance in their life to breach a city. Once they failed, under relentless pursuit from the cross-realm forces of the Dark Sacred Realm, survival was impossible. This is my only chance to regain freedom. The red-robed cultivator rose to their feet, their gaze icy. To them, the entire Nine Rivers Sacred Realm was a vast cage. After enduring countless hardships, they finally attained super-limit level, granting them an opportunity for freedom. If they could breach the city, out of hundreds of millions of cultivators, they only needed to massacre a fraction to accumulate enough merit points. Act now. The red-robed cultivator issued the order. At that moment, all the leaders hiding across Yulan City sprang into action, while the other clans continued to lie dormant. Whoosh. The red-robed cultivator emerged from their cave mansion, gliding through a faint mist as they flew toward Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion. At the same time, another 32 leaders began to head toward Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion as well. Under the call of the king, 32 leaders from the Enchanting Heartworm clan and the Soul-devouring Snake clan, each with the strength of Divine Emperor perfection, gathered here. First, several regions across the 35 city zones of the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm had branches where Divine Emperor perfection level individuals hadn't yet emerged. The strongest members in those branches were some late-stage Divine Emperor clan members, making leader-level members even rarer. Second, only about half of the leaders were participating in this battle. The rest abstained, so the current participants only represented about half of the elite forces of the two major clans. Rumble. The gates of Yulan City slammed shut with a deafening roar. With the gates closed, no cultivator could enter or leave the city temporarily. All cultivators return to your respective cave mansions immediately, or you may temporarily stay in nearby merchant establishments. Yuan Palace Master's gentle voice echoed throughout the city. In a moment, all cultivators are forbidden to step outside. Anyone fleeing will be treated as a low-level primordial life form in disguise. This inspection will be completed within a day, and all cultivators must cooperate during the process. The message resounded. The scattered cultivators across various locations began swiftly heading back to their cave mansions if they were nearby. Those farther away opted to temporarily stay in merchant establishments instead. As time passed, a massive flow of cultivators spread across Yulan City, with their numbers outside gradually decreasing. The red-robed cultivator, now close to Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion, noticed that many of the other 32 leaders were still far off, arriving at varied speeds and distances. Deploy the first branch to attack the entire city and draw the cultivators' attention, the red-robed cultivator immediately commanded. Yes. The leader of the first branch responded and promptly initiated the assigned orders. Suddenly, in various sectors of Yulan City, over 200 cultivators emerged from their cave mansions simultaneously. These were all avatars of Enchanting Heartworms or Soul-devouring Snakes. The attack plan had always designated these avatars for sacrificial missions. However, these avatars possessed remarkable strength. Some were avatars of core clan members. 4 cultivators below the Divine Emperor level, it was a swift massacre at the hands of Enchanting Heartworms and Soul-devouring Snakes, with casualties piling up at shocking speed. Haha, it's been ages since I killed cultivators so wantonly. In just a blink of an eye, I've already slain over 10. With the merit points from this massacre, my bloodline will surely evolve to unprecedented heights. These 200 lurkers raged unchecked, no longer worrying about secrecy. The more reckless, the better. They couldn't resist during the citywide investigation? Lurkers already revealing themselves? Wipe them out. The elders in charge of Yulan City's numerous defensive formations showed no leniency, decisively deploying the arrays to strike down the rampaging lurkers. Rumble. Thunder and lightning rained down like an unrelenting storm. Within the blink of an eye, every lurker wreaking havoc across the city was struck, with no room to dodge. Most of them were annihilated instantly, reduced to ashes. Only 3 lurkers managed to withstand the lightning strikes. These 3 must either be late-stage Divine Emperor true bodies or leader-level avatars. One elder responsible for the Thunder Array communicated this insight to the other elders. Late-stage Divine Emperor low-level primordial lives had exceptionally tenacious life forces. Even the strikes of a formation controlled by an elder couldn't annihilate them from afar. They're likely just leader-level avatars. These lurkers are cunning, they almost never send their true bodies into cities, only avatars. Boom. Whoosh. Brr. Within mere breaths, the 3 lurkers who had resisted the thunder strikes were subjected to successive attacks from multiple formations. Flames engulfed their bodies. Invisible winds howled across them. Freezing air descended upon them like death. Layer upon layer of formation attacks, each one personally directed by the elders. Ultimately, all 3 lurkers met their demise. Meanwhile, not far from Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion, the red-robed cultivator had already rendezvoused with 7 other leaders. Deploy the second branch to attack the city and hinder them further, the red-robed cultivator commanded once again. Yes. With a new order issued, another 192 lurkers charged out of their cave mansions. By this point, very few cultivators remained outside. These unleashed lurkers attacked every visible cultivator within sight, even storming merchant establishments to target attendants inside. More lurkers. What's going on? How are there still so many surfacing? The numerous elders controlling the formations were taken aback. While the emergence of the first batch of over 200 cultivators had been anticipated, the sudden appearance of a second wave totaling 192 seemed increasingly suspicious. Slaughter them first. Exterminate. The elders executed the arrays, striking from afar. The 192 lurkers attacked with reckless abandon, knowing that even if their avatars perished, as long as they killed enough, they'd still garner sufficient merit points. In just 3 breaths of time, all 192 lurkers were vanquished. Of course, they also managed to kill hundreds of innocent cultivators along the way. Something isn't right. Yuan Palace Master had also noticed the anomaly. 2 consecutive waves of carnage led Yuan Palace Master to feel uneasy. All cultivators who have yet to return to their cave mansions must immediately enter the nearest merchant establishment. 10 breaths of time are all that remain before inspections commence. Yuan Palace Master's voice resonated. Hurry, hurry. 10 breaths is too short. The vast majority of cultivators in Yulan City were below Divine Emperor level, their speed constrained by the rules of the 9 Rivers Sacred Realm. Forced to act swiftly, many rushed toward the nearest merchant establishments rather than their cave mansions. The red-robed cultivator near Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion was gradually joined by 12 leaders. Only 10 breaths of time? This operation feels too rushed. The red-robed cultivator frowned slightly. According to the original plan, at least 20 leader true bodies were to act simultaneously, ensuring absolute dominance to eliminate Wei Yang Palace Master. Then they could proceed to defeat others one by one, effortlessly breaching the city. But now, the gathered external forces only amounted to 30% of their intended strength. Their movements inside the city, hampered by Yulan City's full defensive lockdown, were also severely restricted. Even if rushed, we have no choice. The red-robed cultivator's eyes swept toward the nearby leaders. The 12 leaders around them also fully understood the urgency of the situation. Enter the cave mansion, the red-robed cultivator transmitted the order. The 13 moved in unison. Boom. A terrifying burst ripped apart the front gates of Wei Yang Palace Master's cave mansion. Inside the cave mansion, Wei Yang Palace Master sat meditating expressionlessly, controlling the formations enveloping the entire city and coordinating with other elders to combat the lurkers. Wei Yang Palace Master instantly stood, looking toward the disturbance. 12 ominous presences descended upon them. Each presence filled Wei Yang Palace Master with dread. 12 leaders and all true bodies. Wei Yang Palace Master could not believe their eyes. The leaders of the Enchanting Heartworm and Soul-devouring Snake clans were notoriously difficult to deal with, targeting their enemies' very souls. Outside the city, Wei Yang Palace Master had confidence in defeating a leader in a one-on-one combat. But against 3 at once? Confidence dwindled considerably. Now, inside the city, I have the aid of the citywide formations. Even if all 12 true body leaders attack simultaneously, there's still a trace of survival. Wei Yang Palace Master's heart wavered with unease. But why would they risk sending all their true bodies this time instead of relying on avatars? Something wasn't adding up. Wei Yang Palace Master quickly sought aid from Yuan Palace Master, Master Gai Tao and other elders. Wei Yang Palace Master, meet your end. As the chaotic waves closed in, one presence near Wei Yang Palace Master exploded with unparalleled ferocity. A red-robed cultivator materialized as if emerging from the void, invading Wei Yang Palace Master's very soul. Twisting grotesquely, the red-robed figure transformed into a gigantic worm that devoured Wei Yang Palace Master's spiritual power in a single gulp. Super limit level. Wei Yang Palace Master was both shocked and enraged. Never had they heard of a super limit level entity arising among the Enchanting Heartworm and Soul-devouring snake clans within the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm. Because if such an existence were revealed, the realm would have immediately summoned reinforcements from the Dark Sacred Realm. Kill? There's no turning back for us. This is our one and only chance at freedom. Boom 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 boom. All 12 true body leaders, driven to madness, plunged into Wei Yang Palace Master's body, joining their king in the ferocious assault. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos.